From back in the day to modern culture, some words have generally been held in high esteem. Words like please when we make a request. Words like thank you when we receive what was requested. And words like sorry when we acknowledge an error. But an equally important word that rarely makes its way into that list is don't. Words like don't fight, don't be late, don't waste money, and don't be lazy. You see, it becomes a special word when you consider how beneficial it is to our survival and well-being, and that extends even to our experience on the road. So today, we visit the Bus Rapid Transit BRT Extension from Mile 12 to Ikorodu to show you the don'ts we must observe to stay safe and enjoy travel without toil. I am Obafemi Craig. First, we'll take the news highlights. Here is the news highlights on LAMATA IKD, and thanks for joining us. The rehabilitation of Akin-Adesola Street, Victoria Island, Lagos continues this week with the closure of section of the road to allow the contractor, Messrs. High-Tech Construction Company, install precast drainage elements. Following the closure, diversionary signs shall be placed at strategic locations and motorists are advised to obey them to ensure free flow of traffic. The contractor is rounding off drainage installation between Ahmadu Bello and Karimo Kotun Street Junction on the left-hand side. The contractor is expected to move to the junction between Adeola Odeku and Falomo Bridge on the left-hand side. LAMATA therefore appeals to commuters to bear with the state government during the construction phase, assuring that as soon as the road is completed, the pains currently suffered will give way to a hassle-free commute and pleasurable drive. The Lagos Metropolitan Area Transport Authority, LAMATA, has frowned at the indiscriminate parking of vehicles on walkways and the bus rapid transit lanes along the BRT extension corridor between Mile 12 and Ikorodu. The authority also expressed displeasure that around Owode-Oniri, mechanics had turned the BRT lanes into works area and are already pouring used engine oil on the road. LAMATA said in spite of the series of stakeholder meetings held with the leadership of the market, it appears that they could not control their members. The statement by LAMATA warned that appropriate measures to deter further defacing of the road will be implemented soon. LAMATA also appealed to commuters crossing the road to stop endangering their lives and that of others by not crossing the 6-lane road, admonishing that they should use the pedestrian bridges provided. And that ends the news highlights.
Basically, what LAMATA does is to coordinate public transportation in Lagos State, and we came up with a transport master plan.
Developed together with the World Bank, the objective of this plan is finding long-lasting solutions for the problem of transportation in Lagos. Currently under its first steps of development, the plan has already proven itself a big success, dramatically increasing the connectivity in a city in continuous expansion and enjoying an unparalleled demographic and economic growth.
Our responsibility is to ensure that we provide the necessary infrastructure to meet the growth, to improve the quality of life, to improve the standard of living, and to make Lagos a vibrant and livable city in years to come.
LAMATA, keeping Lagos moving. Over the last few weeks, we have taken you to the Bus Rapid Transit BRT Extension from Mile 12 to Ikorodu, where you have learnt about the facilities provided, access to, and use of them. But this lesson will be incomplete if you're not aware of the practices you must never engage in or stop if you have been doing. Practices like crossing the roads instead of using pedestrian bridges, parking illegally by private and commercial vehicles, turning bus shelters into private living quarters, driving against traffic, and the use of the BRT lane by Okada. We visit the Bus Rapid Transit BRT Extension from Mile 12 to Ikorodu again for a session of what not to do on the Mile 12 to Ikorodu corridor to help us milk the benefits of the road for all its worth. Mr. Jide Oduyoye, Deputy Director, Transport Safety LAMATA, is our guide. Kate is ready. I am ready. Come along now. We are going on the move.
Counting days to the final commissioning of the Mile 12 to Ikorodu BRT Extension, and everything looks set for the full operation of the BRT services. Residents of Ikorodu, its environs, and indeed the world are anxiously waiting to see the first bus roll out for full operations. Now, one would ask, why this road is so important? I'll tell you. As far as Lagos, the commercial hub of Nigeria, is concerned, it is a major connecting road that moves a large number of people from Ikorodu, its environs, to Lagos Island. This road was constructed to ease traffic congestion. But would you say it has actually eased up traffic congestion since its rehabilitation? This 13.5-kilometer rehabilitated road has been built to serve for several decades. And how do we ensure optimized usage of this road to ease traffic congestion? We have the Deputy Director, Transport Safety LAMATA, Jide Oduyoye, who will be joining us to proffer solutions. So we are here at the Mile 12 bus shelter, and we can see trading activities going on, illegal parking, and people making use of the bus shelter to sleep. How does this affect safety and traffic?
Well, take for example the bus shelter that we see across the road from us, Kate, and people are sleeping there and doing all sorts of things. That is the sort of activities that we do not expect to be happening at the bus shelter, where the public at large are expected to use for them to board the buses. Because normally, when you see such activities, the fear factor comes into play, and people don't feel safe, because when people don't have, well, let's regard them as homeless, then anything can happen. Either you're harassed or you can even be attacked for something different. So really, it's not something that is okay. The fact that the BRT operations has not started does not mean an infrastructure such as this should be accommodating people to sleep on or to be hanging out aimlessly and doing whatever it is. With regards to the walkway that we're standing on right now, which is a typical issue and concern from a safety point of view, the pedestrian walkway is meant for pedestrians to walk, and you create that way an avenue raised up different from the carriageway level.
Exactly.
That means you're completely demarcated away from moving traffic. Now, if the pedestrian walkway is being occupied by illegal activities that you can see behind me, like people are even making their hair, placing umbrellas so far across the walkway, it means someone who is of a higher height or a 6-footer would not be able to use the walkway because the umbrella that is there would obstruct his head. And so that kind of pedestrian will be forced to step onto the carriageway, onto the lay-by, and that constitutes danger. Parking, as we see right in front of me, from the yellow bus and the car that is in front of it, you can see that the back of the yellow bus is actually sticking out into the carriageway. And that in itself is an obstruction in terms of moving traffic, the way it's parked and everything. Now, apart from that, any large bus that needs to move into the lay-by to keep the carriageway free would not be able to do so from that kind of parking activities, and the bus would not be forced to park on the highway, which is now a danger to the passengers that they're carrying or to other road users that are on the road. So these issues that we're seeing in front of us certainly is not good for traffic management. It's most certainly not okay for safety of the pedestrians and even the motorists at large.
Okay, let's talk about, now the pedestrian walkway is still, at least to an extent, free. You see, this is someone carrying a bunch of plantain using the major road.
Going against traffic.
Is it right? That's a heap of potatoes right on across the road. Is that right?
No, it is definitely not right. And you can see all sorts of wheelbarrow activities, and all these are even banned by the traffic laws that is on the ground. But I suppose the issue of enforcement needs to come into play.
Yeah.
Because when these sort of activities go on, and people, I mean, you can see this guy is right in the middle of the carriageway. Another one is coming from his opposite side. It cannot be right. It cannot be safe. Not for them. Because they don't have lights. They don't have reflective jackets. It's difficult for motorists to see them in time and avoid them. And while they are trying to claim their own lanes and everything, all sorts of things would happen. And unfortunately, if there was an incident or a crash into them, that would delay any kind of bus operation that will be on the road in terms of like obstruction to the highway and in terms of them parking it. So, in fact, the whole thing right now that we're seeing in front of us just smells of danger, smells of inappropriateness.
Oh my God, this is
and
just
it's
too much.
Totally not okay.
It's too much. It's so unbearable. Maybe we should just move ahead and see other bus stops and shelters to know what's going on there.
Yes, we should do
Yeah.
that. kò dá ẹ má jẹ́ kí nǹkan tí ìjọba ń ṣe ẹ má bàjẹ́ pẹ̀lú gbogbo nǹkan báyìí tí ò dáa. Ẹ wo èèyàn kan tó wà bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ tó ta potato, ìwọ náà gbọ́ ọ̀gẹ̀dẹ̀ síbi tó bá máa fi di ọ̀la ẹlòmíà gbé tòmátò wá síbí báyìí, gbogbo yín ẹ wá sọ gbogbo bí àjẹ ọjà. Kí ló dẹ̀ máa ṣẹlẹ̀? Àwọn tó ń wà lórí títì tó bá fẹ́ ra ọ̀gẹ̀dẹ̀ ó máa dúró láàrin títì, a ní kó mú ọ̀gẹ̀dẹ̀ 200 naira wá. Tí ò bá ní change, wàá tún máa sáré wá change fún mẹ́wàá orí títì ló dúró sí tó ń dá tráfíkì dúró torí ìwọ tí ò ta ọ̀gẹ̀dẹ̀ níbí. A ní kẹ́ má ta ọjà báyọ̀ ta ọjà nínú ọjà. Ṣó ti yé ẹ? Ṣó ti yé ẹ? Ẹ má jẹ́ kí ọwọ́ ara yín kó jẹ́ pé òun ló máa pa àwọn èèyàn títì níbi tó ti ń ta, tó ti ń ná ọ̀gẹ̀dẹ̀ tó ń ṣe gbogbo oríṣiríṣi. Nǹkan tá a ṣe ń sọ̀rọ̀ fún ara wa nìyẹn. Pé eléyìí ò bójúmu kò dẹ̀ da. A ní kẹ́ má jẹun, a dẹ̀ ní kẹ́ má tajà bọ́ ẹ jẹ́ ká ṣe níbi tó yẹ ká ti ṣe. Ṣó ti yé ẹ? Sọ fún mọ̀mísí ẹ àbáwọn tó ń rún ẹ pé eléyìí tó ní kó wá ṣe láàrin títì pé kò bójúmu.
So passing through the Majidun, Golonto, Owode and Mile 12, you see that vehicles, commercial vehicles and even private ones are parking using the BRT lanes as their parking area. Is that acceptable?
No, it is definitely not acceptable. And you can see clearly the mayhem that is going on around us. People just parking indiscriminately, including the large public service vehicles, obstructing majority of the carriageway, making it difficult for other traffic to move through.
Exactly.
You see people crossing adultly any which way they want. And you see all sorts of illegal parking behind us there with repairs going on at the same time. This is not a very good thing for the operations that we plan for the use of this road. I am very, very afraid. So many things need to change. So many things need to happen. So that even the people that are doing these things right now, they need to start getting used to how this road is supposed to be used.
Should be, yeah.
How they're supposed to keep themselves safe. How they're supposed to manage the traffic. You cannot just come on the road like this where we want to improve to one standard of public transport provision, and then we turn it into something that it looks as if
Nothing
government
has
has
been
not
done.
done anything. It really is not nice, it's not fair. And you understand, we've spoken to a few people earlier on. I think there's a total lack of understanding. Even the bus there, you can see the way it's parked. There seems to be a general, I don't care attitude. Like we can do anything that we want and get away with it.
With it.
Now, a lot of people have talked about enforcement. But sometimes, enforcement should be seen as a last resort. Enforcement is not something that you wake up in the morning.
You should just get used to doing things right.
Because if you do things right and do it the right way, you would not need to put too much enforcement where it becomes such an aggramatic thing.
Yeah.
It looks as if, oh, the government or whoever is sponsoring the enforcement regime is out there for something else other than to just make us do the right thing. If we do the right thing, nobody's going to come and tell you that they want to correct you. But because of what we see around us, every which way along the corridor, even further up there, you can see the parking on the carriageway. You can see the motorcyclists that they don't really care about the impacts of what they're doing. And that is the issues and the challenges that we have right now.
I mean, take a look at this. This is supposed to be a U-turn, right?
It's supposed to be a U-turn from Ikorodu back to Ikorodu.
Ikorodu.
It is not a U-turn from coming from Lagos back to Lagos. But because people are parked there, All sorts of things are going on. I'm just hoping that perhaps when the full traffic signs are placed, which should be in the very, very near future, the reason why the signs were not even put in place in the first place, I must be honest, is because people around there were stealing the signs. They were stealing the signs overnight. And so the contractor decided to put a hold on it a little while until well majority of the work has been done before they place the signs. So we know signs are very important, but people should learn that signs are there for our own safety.
Exactly.
It is not for people to come and steal the signs overnight and go and melt it to do something else. So the signs will be put in place, and that to a certain degree.
That's another car coming to park.
Yes. So to a certain degree, that would help to channel some of the bad things that people are doing, i.e. going against traffic at the U-turn areas when they shouldn't have. But I am very, very worried right now.
I am as worried as you. So what do we do now? Should we go to another bus stop to see what's going on there?
We can. We'll go
I'm
along
sure
the
we
corridor.
will have a lot of surprises awaiting us. So let's take another walk.
You can see where we're standing right now. It looks as if it's 3 lanes, all right? And it is 3 lanes, but this first lane here is to allow the vehicles making U-turn from Ikorodu, going back to Ikorodu direction, to use this particular lane here to blend with the traffic, because there could be fast-moving traffic.
Exactly.
You don't expect them to join traffic at a right angle at speed. So this lane is created for them to at least blend with the traffic, indicate and flow through. However, people have assumed that because this lane is here, that they can now occupy another lane on the carriageway illegally, right? Thereby forcing those on the main road to flow into this lane and nullifying the purpose of this lane. And even you can see that this guy himself, he has parked here in such a way that any turning vehicle coming from here would have to find a way to avoid him and go into normal flow of traffic. And so this is totally unacceptable and it's not right. Looking at the guy there, causing problem, he's doing a U-turn illegally on the highway where it's so busy and it's causing so much commotion along the place. Why that is happening, I don't know, but these are the issues that we find on this road going on every single day.
Look at what he's trying to do.
Now once he wants to do a U-turn, he's going to force himself in front of traffic to be able to do that.
Oh my goodness. So this is the much we can take on today's episode. The concluding part, we'll take it on our next episode. Keep watching LAMATA. I am Kate Harmony. The show continues.
That was an enlightening and instructive session, and it's important you don't forget a point. So we'll take a break to give you time to make some notes. Our safety oga for LAMATA don't tell us how we would drive Jide for the Oshara mile 12 to Ikorodu BRT Extension road. He come beg all of us who they use the road. Say make we they do as law talk. He say if we want cross road, make we they use the bridge. Make we not just the cross road and make we not turn the bus stop to our room and parlor where we could stay. Say law will catch up with us. Ọ̀gá àgbà fún ààbò ní ilé-iṣẹ́ LAMATA ti ṣàlàyé fún wa bí a ti máa wọ ọkọ̀ jẹ́jẹ́ lé ojú ọ̀nà ọkọ̀ BRT tuntun láti mile 12 sí Ìkòròdú. Wọ́n wá rọ̀ wá pé kí a máa lo ọ̀nà náà gẹ́gẹ́ bí òfin ti sọ. Wọ́n ní tí a bá máa sọdá kí a máa lo afárá ẹlẹ́sẹ̀. Wọ́n dẹ̀ ní kí a má sọ ibùdókọ̀ di ibùsùn wa kí òfin ìjọba má bàa mú wa. If you live and work in Lagos, you definitely travel within the city, and that makes it necessary for us to hear your remarks, questions, and suggestions. Some of you did reach out during the week, and here's what you had to say. Babatunde Ashalejo, you posted saying, "Hi guys, nice work over the mile 12 to Ikorodu Road. I think to ensure proper flow for traffic, you guys will find a way to control the crowdiness in Ikorodu garage." Moshood Oluwafemi Nasruddin, you posted saying, LAMATA, we need your construction project in our area at Jide Road. Thank you for those messages. Babatunde Ashalejo, relevant agencies of government are working to ensure the crowd control at Ikorodu Garage. Moshood Nasiruddin, government has a responsibility to develop all parts of Lagos, and Jide is not left out. For those also inspired to send in questions, comments, and suggestions, you can reach us on any of the following. No matter how many roads we build and upgrade, rail lines we run, and water transport services we provide, it means nothing if you, the users, are not informed on how best to use them. And when informed, kindly put what you learn here to use, because Todd Stocker said, knowledge doesn't change lives. Application of it is what transforms. I am Obafemi Craig, LAMATA, keeping Lagos moving.
Ikorodu Lagos, my home. With LAMATA, Lagos is changing for the best. BRT lanes, modern rail lines, pedestrian